How would you like to make your first million? And today we have the founder of the Gapin Institute. And imagine what if you could reclaim your energy, focus, and drive hand feel 10 years younger, right? So, um, Tracy Gapin, Dr. Tracy Gapin is our guest today, and is a board certified urologist and turning to performance and longevity expert. Wow, that's an amazing topic. So he's also a TEDx speaker and best-selling author and a trusted voice in high performance health. So, Doctor, tell us what are the 5 steps you recommend entrepreneurs in order to achieve the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Hey, thanks so much, Harry. And first of all, I just want to say, great to be here with you today. I'm really excited to speak to your
Oh, I'm
community.
so grateful. And we're going to
No,
have
absolutely,
a lot of
yeah.
fun here. I love your
I love your
topic.
podcast. Yeah. And so, I run an amazing longevity center. I help high performing leaders really, feel young again. And now I am building a system that helps doctors, other doctors like I was, escape burnout and build a practice that they love with more freedom,
Wow.
impact, and income. And so I'm really excited about our conversation today. Talking about entrepreneurship is honestly my favorite topic. So thanks for what a great question. So I'll give you the 5 things. I'm going to start with number 1, and that is overcoming limiting beliefs. So I always believe, and working with a lot of doctors now, what I found is that for most entrepreneurs, one of the biggest things that we're dealing with that are holding us back from achieving our full potential and building the business that we want to and the life that we want to build is limiting beliefs. False constructs in our mind that are holding us back, telling us that we can't do it, telling you that you're not smart enough, that you're not good enough, that, oh my God, there's all these other experts out there. No one would ever want to listen to me. When in fact, every one of you listening, you have an expertise, you have wisdom, you have knowledge that you need to share with the world. And a mentor years ago put it to me this way. I love it. If you don't get your butt out there and share your message and bring that to the world, you're being selfish. You're holding something within, some knowledge, some expertise, some solution for someone out there. It's actually selfish on your part to not get it out there. And so forget thinking I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't know how. You need to just move. You need to recognize that no one's perfect, but you just got to move and overcome those limiting beliefs that are holding you back and focus on empowering beliefs instead. So I always think it has to start with mindset first, because that's the biggest thing that I believe gets in the way of most entrepreneurs. The second thing is you have to know who you serve. I think that so often people get confused with building a business with, I'm going to serve the world. For me, like for Gapin Institute, I'm going to help people get healthy. No, that's not what I do. I help successful, driven, high-performing leaders, entrepreneurs, and founders who want to have more energy, focus, and drive so they can be their absolute best again in business and life. Very, very clear of who I work with. I can describe that person down to their age, down to what they drive, down to what podcasts they listen to, what their fears are, what their biggest challenges are, what their goals are. Like, I can describe that one person, and when I create content, whether it's podcast content, whether it's writing a blog, whether it's doing social, it's talking to that one person. It just so happens that I am my own avatar, and that makes it a lot
Wow.
easier. And so I would suggest for a lot of you out there, it may be effective when you're first starting a business to serve yourself. And for me, I was that doctor. I was burned out. I was fat. I was overweight. I was stressed out. I was miserable. I was not taking care of myself. I was neglecting my health. And I didn't know what to do. And so I had to go back to school 10 years ago and learn all this stuff. And so I became my own avatar, and what better person to serve than yourself, because you know yourself really well. So I've gotten very clear avatar. If you don't know your avatar, if you don't know who the heck you're talking to, you're never going to sell anything. Your business is going to suffer as a result of it. That's number 2. Number 3 is, what are you actually selling? What is your solution? So I think a lot of people get caught up in selling a cute, fancy widget. I'm going to sell this. I made the mistake early on. I was selling genetics. So I learned how to read your genetics. So Harry, I can look at your genetics, cheek swab. I can get 700,000 plus genes And
Wow.
based on that, I can give you all kinds of amazing insights, really cool stuff.
Wow.
The problem is, what am I solving? It doesn't help if I'm not solving a problem. So I'm out there trying to sell genetics. Most of the world doesn't give a crap about I don't want genetics. But let's say you can't lose weight. Let's say, Harry, you can't lose weight. You're in the gym killing yourself and nothing's working. You're exhausted. You're tired every day. You have brain fog. You can't sleep. You're stressed out. You can't have sex with your partner because you're not performing like you used to. Now, as part of my solution to help you, genetics can help me dial in exactly what you should be eating and not eating, exactly what supplements are right for you. You see the difference? How I'm
100%.
providing as a solution for your problem, and I just happen to have some tools that I can put together in a way to do that. And so I think it's
And
so
it's
important to
different for
not.
everybody. Eh?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not selling just a genetic kit, a widget. I'm selling a solution to your problem, and I'm very clear about solving that problem. And so I like to look at business as who are you serving and what problem are you solving for them. That's most of the challenge right there. But really clear, when you're crystal clear about that, it kind of becomes easy because I know who my avatar is. I know what they want. I know the problems they have. I just solve their problems. And so that's number 3. Number 4 is imperfect action. I tell you what, Harry, I'm a perfectionist.
Oh
I'm
my
type A.
goodness.
Like most entrepreneurs out there, we tend to be perfectionists. We are type A and we're driven, and we're not going to put something out there until it's perfect, right?
And it become expensive.
That's right. You waste time, you waste money, you're going slow, and you're just stalling, you're procrastinating. And a lot of it probably ties back to the limiting beliefs, the number 1 thing I talked about. But the key is to take imperfect action, because when you put something out there, you're going to get feedback from the world, whether it connects with them, resonates with them, if it's the language that resonates, if it connects, and you're going to see if it works or not. And you're going to have to iterate. And no one gets it right the first time. You put something out there and it's going to fail. That's great. You're either or you're learning. You're winning or you're learning. And most of the time you want to be learning because that's going to help you win later. And so you do that by taking imperfect action, put it out there. Don't worry about falling on your face because it's an opportunity to learn. And that's how you're going to grow and get better. We made so many mistakes early on, but now those were stepping stones because imperfect action, I put stuff out there and it taught me so much about how to make the business better. So that's number 4. Number 5 is differentiate. So I am a physician running a longevity center. I have a longevity program, an health optimization performance program. But I'll tell you, there are other options out there. There are other companies out there that are doing similar types of work. Definitely not the same. Definitely not better. I can tell you that much. But the key is I've made my offer, my program so unique and different that no one can compare. And it's not that I'm creating something that I'm having to invent from the ground. Some people get, again, stuck in they won't take action because limiting beliefs. I don't know how to be different. Find how you are different and unique than the other people in your space. For example, what I am doing, I'm not teaching other doctors how to prescribe hormones and how to prescribe peptides and how to read genetics. There are a bunch of how to do functional medicine. There are a lot of other people doing that out there, training that stuff. You can go to 20 different places to learn how to practice functional medicine. What I'm doing is teaching you how to build a longevity health optimization program that you can run within your practice and help you run that as a license that no one else is doing. Literally no one on the planet is doing what I'm doing. That's as differentiated as I can get. And so that's going to help you win as well, where you can't just be an also. Like someone else does this, I also do that. No, you have to be different. Find how you're different and double down on that, and people will love you for it. So those are my 5 things.
High performance, the secret to have a successful company, right? At the end of the day, entrepreneurs, we have to outperform, especially when you started your company. You wearing like 10 hats. You are the marketing person, you are the sales person, you are the product person. And starting your own business is a process that becomes intense. And
It's hard.
in my case, and in most of the startups founder that start the business, everybody what is thinking is how to make the million, how to make money. Okay. And if I describe to you how we believe, Doctor, from this broadcast, we want all the entrepreneurs to be wealthy, healthy, and happy. And if I describe to you when I have my first property business, I thought that, the most important thing was making money. And I was so focused in making money that I will wake up and don't eat anything because I was busy the whole day and until 10 p.m., which obviously I'm so hungry that I cannot even function. Because I don't have time, I'm building my business. I will take a phone call, and it was two restaurants there in London, close to Canary Wharf. One was Indian food, the other one Chinese food. I remember that I was calling the restaurant, and they would tell me, "Harry, okay, don't worry, the food is coming." So they would follow the numbers. The menu have the number, and they knew that, okay, if I ordered number 50, next day is 51, right? So I'm not taking. If I imagine how bad it was, that not even taking care what kind of food I'm eating. Actually, is the next one, and at the time that I'm eating, and the amount that I'm eating, imagine the whole day without eating after exhausted work. So they I will eat all this amount of food and go to sleep, and next day the same dynamic. So clearly my body took a hit. As you can see, I'm still a little bit chubby, right? Have been a long process to and yeah, the business was successful. We managed to sell 5 million, but my body health is taking a hit now. Something that I need to deal with, and then I had to start to work out to create new habits. And the new habit come time that you eat, type of food that you eat, because otherwise you see your health get affected, and then you think, what's the point of me for building this company in the first place? I won't be able to enjoy the money or whatever because I'm not healthy. So now,
Yeah.
looking back, doctor, now I'm 48 years old, and the whole equation has kind of changed, right? When everybody, people come to me, how is the project? We can make a million, whatever. I'm checking, okay, how my health will be impacted with this project, how much time away this, I like to play tennis, I like to dance salsa. This is my kind of exercise. I'm not a gym guy, to be honest with you. Very difficult to get me inside the gym. However, I like to walk, I like to play tennis, I like to dance salsa. They're very aerobic exercise, right? And in terms of food, I you can tell me I love eat, yeah. And I can tell you that I was addicted to carbs.
Oh yeah, very common.
Still am, right? I'm working with the with that, doctor, and this is something that I mean, it's an addiction, same like alcohol or smoke or whatever. You need to have a strong discipline process
Yeah.
to get, because my body is, one day I'm looking for rice, another day I'm looking for pizza. I mean, you rice, okay, you remove the rice, then I want
Yeah.
pizza, and then you remove the
Yep.
pizza, I want bread, and then you remove bread. I'm always chasing something that have carbs of it, and it's have been tough deal with that habit, which was actually created building my first business in this wrong habit. So my point, because I think you've been in the same boat. Money was no problem for you. You actually doctor get paid a lot of money, right? So money was not an issue. However, your body took a hit, same like my one, building, I mean, in our wealth creation path. And now we are reevaluating ourselves. You took it complete to the next level, and you change the whole, you build the business even out of it, which I find it really, really impressive, because it's a huge need. So number one question, doctor, that I want to ask you is, when you realize that, same that happened to me, that the priorities were not in the
Yeah.
right place, and
Absolutely.
was you thought what was important, maybe to have a huge bank account, or to, I don't know, to be the manager or the director or the whatever of the center, or to be the big deal, actually without knowing, you harming yourself and the people around you, because what happened, you get sick.
Yeah.
And what happened with the people around you, we never think about that when we're doing what we do, right? So when you took the, what happened?
Yeah. I was a board certified urologist in my former life. I spent 25
Yeah,
years as a men's health expert, board certified urologist.
make a
I
lot of
mean,
money, right?
doing
Money
great,
was not
making
a
great
problem,
money.
right?
Well, I'm making great money, and I'm doing robotic
You should be
surgery. I'm
happy. You
treating
should be
cancer. I'm
happy.
saving lives every day. I'm having,
Wow.
a great successful practice, but on the inside, I was miserable. I was so stressed out, so
Wow.
focused on my like I would literally see 50 to 60 patients in the office a day, and I would
Wow.
have less than 10 minutes per patient
Wow.
because
That
you're
how
like a
that
hamster on a
busy
wheel.
was? My goodness.
Incredibly busy, and then you're running to the hospital, you're taking
Why, doctor?
call
Because you need to
overnight.
see
And
personally everyone. Nobody else
part,
could.
I'm sorry,
You
pardon me?
you had to see personally all of your patients, right? Because this
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
something that you can delegate, right? You need to be high qualified
You
to
can only
do.
delegate so much. Yeah, yeah. So I was stressed out. I was 30 pounds overweight. I was exhausted. I was not sleeping well. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was eating like crap. I was not working out at all because I was so busy in my practice. And
Wow.
I hit a wall where I finally went for I hit 40 and I went for my first physical exam ever to a local doctor here in town, and I was a mess. And what was really eye opening for me was he had no real answers other than I probably need to be on a statin if I don't lose weight. That was it.
Oh my God.
And here I am.
How much
I'm
of a
the
weight was you, doctor?
at that
Uh,
point I was about 195,
are you supposed to be?
about 160, 165 ish, somewhere in that kind of ballpark. Yeah, so I was about 30 pounds overweight. And so I knew I had to make a change. And here I am, this men's health expert. I'm a urologist, and I don't know what the hell to do to lose weight and get in shape and I turn my health, life around, my health around. And so I started studying. I studied first genetics
Well,
and
you guys study a
epigenetics.
lot in the
Yeah, I studied
physician. You're
functional
very good
medicine.
student.
I studied hormones. I studied peptides. I studied longevity science. And I was able to put all this newfound knowledge together and apply it on myself. And I was able to get healthy. I got to the point where I actually felt great again. I lost all this weight. I have energy. I focus. I'm driven. I'm like,
You
hell
sleeping
yeah.
well?
Like,
You sleeping well?
I'm sleeping. I'm working out. I'm eating clean. I fixed my hormones was a big part of it. I fixed my gut, which was a big part of it. I started sharing some of this new approach with my patients in my urology practice, and they were loving it as well. And I'll tell you, Harry, that's when I realized that I am stuck in the wrong life. I'm in the wrong body. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to run a business around this. I want to build a career around optimization and getting healthy and not just treating sickness and illness. And here I am as a surgeon, and I didn't even know what the hell to do. I had to go back and retrain myself. And so I spent about almost 10 years and $1 million training myself in business masterminds and
Wow.
certifications, courses,
Very impressive.
how to thank you, how to build a team, how to run a business, how to really put all the pieces together. And I was able to do it. And so I
Mm.
spent years preparing. And back in 2020 actually, I gave my partners in my practice notice. I had to give them a 1 year notice that I'm leaving.
Wow. 1 year notice. My God. That's a
And they
long
thought I was
time.
they
Wow.
thought I was crazy. I was like, there's no way. Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to have a better life. And so I built the business. I built the team from then. And that was, shoot, 5 years ago now. And
Wow.
we are growing like you wouldn't believe. And I've
No, I
now,
believe you. I can tell in your eyes.
thank you.
you
I've gone to the next
you
level
you
now where
you
I'm now,
glowing. You glowing when you
yeah,
talk about the thing you're doing.
that's right. And I'm training doctors how to do the same thing now.
Wow, amazing.
And what's interesting is I am my own avatar again. I'm teaching
100%.
doctors who don't know how to get out of that
Mm-hmm,
crappy life.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's again, it's my treating myself as the avatar again. It works again. So, yeah, that's how I made the journey. It was a long path.
Wow, like we always say, the entrepreneur should be healthy, wealthy, and happy, and we all deserve. Why, if we can have this life, that we can have it all? Yeah, a lot of people say, well, if you make money, then you cannot be healthy, and if you're healthy, you cannot do this. But why, if we can have it all? It's actually possible to have it all if you go for it, and if you believe that is possible. You were talking about limiting belief before, right? And then the and we're gonna go deeper, because I love the topic about longevity. I'm a big fan of the topic. Yeah, I recently watched a documentary of a guy that's investing everything he has. It was in Netflix, this billionaire that is doing a longevity thing, a little bit crazy in some point, but somehow he's creating a movement that live longer. And I think it's a great concept, right? What if, rather than focus in spending so much time, so much money in fine pills, why we don't take all this money, we invest in all of us being more healthier, right? And bottom line, because I've been there, and I've been in this journey. I have been it's difficult to do it alone. I've been I won't say struggling for years, but I've been working on myself on this topic from few years now, right?
Yeah.
I actually the last I would say 8 months from 232 pounds. Today I'm 212, right?
Great
So
job.
and it comes with now the good habits because I've been a yo-yo going up and down
Yeah. Yeah.
for so many years,
Yeah.
gaining, losing because like we described the addiction to carbs that I have. I don't know how I get it, but I got it. So then the point, doctor, is the following, right? Your for you seeing that because it sounds a little bit of contradicting. How come a doctor? You sometimes say, how come a doctor can smoke? Yeah. How come a doctor can be overweight? How come a physician, right? No, this doesn't match. But the truth is that at the end of the day, we are all human beings, and sometimes we get caught into a dynamic. Like for example, for me, I was growing a business. There was no chance that I couldn't operate in all the way like this in order to build. But I also I'm not giving importance to my health. I'm giving importance to the business. Like for example, I remember back in the day when I was young, like if you don't sleep and you work 14 hours, straight and no sleeping and everything, you were the king of the office, right? Oh my God, you won't believe Harry working so hard. Whether now somebody come to me and tell me, okay, I have a business proposal, but look, Harry, you have to work 14 hours and you won't be able to sleep and whatever. I always said, man, no way that I will engage in this kind. My health goes first. So how big is the problem? Because in this broadcast, this is what we find out. We find out that lots of most of entrepreneurs, or a lot of entrepreneurs that come to this broadcast, first they have a problem for themselves, they solve it, and then they create a business out of this. Even my first business was in property, same
Yeah.
thing. I had the problem for myself to save money in the rent. Then I create the property business. Now my rent is free, so now I'm solving the problem for myself,
Yeah.
and then I start to go and help others. It was a big breakthrough that you have solving this problem to use from yourself, that you saw that you want to make your life uh, all about that, to a great mission to solve this huge problem for all, and especially fellow physicians, which I would say are the more difficult to talk about the space, because you can be as a health coach to advise another physician, but if it's not, it's going to be very difficult because they're well prepared people, well studied, and you cannot
Yeah.
come with something, okay, you eat the thing and you're going to lose weight. It's not going to cut it. So
Okay.
how big was the transformation for you?
So let me and thank you for that. I want to touch back on a couple of things you mentioned there. I didn't want to interrupt you. So first, this is a big failing with our healthcare system. This is why most doctors don't get it, because we are so blindfolded and brainwashed when we were in medical school to treat disease, symptoms, illness, typically with pharmaceuticals. This is the drug diagnosis, drug sort of concept. And so most doctors, you mentioned, doctors who smoke and are massively overweight and they eat like crap and they don't exercise. It's because we're never taught any of that stuff in medical school. We're not taught how to actually be healthy. We're taught how to treat a kidney stone and how to treat a heart
Wow.
attack and how to treat cancer. We're not taught how to be healthy. We're not taught how to help someone have more energy and focus and drive and perform better and have better cognitive function, focus, mental acuity. None of that stuff. No, we're taught how to find the diagnosis, the problem, and treat it. And so for me to make the transition I went through, I had to have a very different mindset and perspective of the fact that our healthcare system is failing. It's designed to address the wrong things, looking at the wrong markers, having the wrong reference ranges, looking at the wrong problems. And so the doctors I work with now, who I train how to be entrepreneurs, they recognize that and they're eager to escape that failing system and build a life that they want as
100%.
well. Yeah, and it starts with recognizing that, like the amazing transformation you went through, your health is the foundation of everything. It's the foundation of your life, of your leadership, of your legacy, I like to say. It is really the bedrock of everything else. And if you don't have your energy and your focus and your confidence and your drive, you're not going to be able to accomplish anything. And so I would argue that a lot of your incredible success is because you were able to turn your health around. And now that's actually a strength of yours rather than a potential liability. And so they're in a state of denial that they have any problems. You know, they say, I'm fine. No, energy's a little low later in the day, but I'm okay. You know, I'm 52, but it's just normal, part of aging. BS. And so what I do is testing. When you do testing, you'll find typically it's 3 areas of focus that I find. I find hormones, I find inflammation, and I find system overload. So hormones, testosterone, thyroid, DHEA, vitamin D, nitric oxide, estrogen, cortisol, I can go on and on. Vitamin D is actually a hormone. Inflammation typically comes from the gut, microbiome problems, blood sugar imbalance, toxins, etc. And then system overload. I used to say stress, but everyone denies stress impacts them. System overload is poor sleep, overtraining, psychological stress, imbalance, stuff like that, toxins in our environment, stuff like that. But those are the things that when we test for and find those problems, now people are more receptive to change. Until you do that, most entrepreneurs were so egocentric driven that we don't want to acknowledge that we have any problems. And so I think testing is really the foundation of that.
Gut is one of the most important elements to stay healthy. Actually, the base of our immunological defense, right? Is most of it reflecting how healthy is your gut, right? So how can we reduce inflammation? How can you share with our entrepreneurs? Because at the end of the day, people will think, well, what this have to do for running a business and to making a million and to make
Oh
money?
my
Well,
gosh.
have a lot to do
Yeah.
because
Great question.
if
Yeah.
if you don't perform, you're gonna take the wrong decision, and if you sick,
That's
you
right.
cannot pay attention to the thing. So how to keep a
Exactly.
healthy gut, and how something more important what you did, right? You detox your gut. Can I say that? So you run a process that reduces the inflammation and everything, and now
Yeah.
you're stronger. You have a greatest in defense in your organism that now you don't get even flu, right? This is how it works.
So there's acute and chronic inflammation, 2 different types of inflammation. Acute inflammation you need when you have the flu, when you have a cut, an injury. It's really your body's immune system trying to help you heal. Okay, it's normal, it's a short term, and it's needed for your body to heal itself. Chronic inflammation is different. It's unrelenting, exaggerated immune response that doesn't go away. Typically, this comes from things like imbalance in the microbiome, the gut. So when we say gut health, we really mean that there's this broad diversity of microbes, of organisms in our gut. And there's actually exponentially more DNA, genetic material in those bugs than we have in our own body, like by far, exponentially more.
Wow.
And our gut, our microbiome actually talks to our whole body. So there are signals being sent from our gut to our brain that affects neurotransmitters. There are signals sent to affect our hormones. There are signals sent to affect our metabolism, our blood sugar control, our ability to build muscle, burn fat. There are signals to every part of our body coming from the gut. And when you have dysbiosis or loss of gut wall integrity, or when you have other digestive problems, you may not have any irregularity in your bowels, but you may not have any overt gut symptoms, but you may have a massive systemic inflammatory response from it. What does that lead to? Brain fog, can't focus, can't think clearly, mental acuity is off. You can't seem to concentrate, memory is off, mood is off, you're cranky, you're irritable, you're anxious. A lot of anxiety comes from the gut, depression comes from the gut. Issues with low energy throughout the day where you hit a wall, that 2 or 3 o'clock crash where you want to take a nap. If you're taking a nap in the middle of the afternoon, something is wrong. And a lot of times it's inflammation. Sometimes blood sugar problems can cause inflammation. If you're like you were talking about, being addicted to carbs, that can do it. If you have imbalance in blood sugar from poor sleep, can cause systemic inflammation. So a lot of things can drive that process, and it's affecting everything in your body without you even realizing it. And so for high performers that maybe you're not performing like you need to, it could very well be coming from the gut without you even realizing it.
And how we keep it healthy then?
So you got to
How?
first identify the problem. Yeah. So testing, we do blood testing, we do salivary, saliva-based hormone testing, we do gut testing where we take a stool sample and look at the organisms and the gut wall integrity and markers of immune function. Based on that, we come up with a very precise plan. And so this is not just everybody out there take a probiotic or take my magic supplement. No, no, it depends on what you need.
You're
Yeah.
specific for you, right?
I had one guy, his developed massive food sensitivities to all things bananas and coffee. Now, those aren't bad foods, but he happened to be having those
He's
every morning for
intolerant to it,
breakfast
right?
with his protein shake, and it was causing massive issues with. And so
100%, I
you never
believe,
know until
yeah.
you do the testing. Yeah,
Absolutely, and for every person is different, right? The
that's right.
it could
That's right.
be anything. I've been working with a lot of people on the space. I'm happy to be so lucky that I have in our community speakers a large expert base, right? And have been came to my attention exactly like this, like the intolerance, like food intolerance. If you could be eating something and the next person next to you is good with it, and to your body can create something totally different, and your body can be actually create information because you are intolerant to that type of element, and it's different for everyone. So the study
That's
has
right.
to be exactly as you described, tailored to the specific needs of the person. Nothing, nobody, and also, Doctor, I want to re-enhance the concept that you described, which is we're talking about the health system. So imagine why it could be on the other way. Why when we are healthy, we pay the insurance, and when we are sick, it's free. You see,
Right.
now the whole thing changes, right? Now, now everybody. What if all doctors will be trained actually to keep us healthier, and then the problem would be, when the people get sick, because is if the system is designed the other way around, guess what? It's financially convenient that people get sick, right? You sell more drugs, you give you a drug that help you with one thing and make you run another one, so you come back again. And there are the whole could be done in a different way, right?
Yeah.
And you have the talent and the capacity, and the knowledge is the thing. We have the knowledge and the capacity to do so. So what needs to be done in terms of awareness, or what needs to be done? Because what's the point to make a lot of money? What's the point to grow a business if at the end of the day you are a multimillionaire and you're gonna die out of the heart attack because you're stressed out?
Yeah.
What can be done? And the entrepreneurs also, like me, starting
Yeah.
out your first company, priorities goes wrong, and last thing that you thinking is what you eat or how much
Yeah.
you sleep. Yeah,
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
priority is to make the business work, and without knowing, your body is taking a big hit.
Yeah. I love that you bring that up because entrepreneurs are so driven on just making money and it's all
Mm-hmm.
about the bottom line. And you look at
Mm-hmm.
guys like, I mean, Paul Allen, he was the co-founder of Microsoft. He was worth over $30 billion with a B. And
Wow,
the guy gets diagnosed with and dies at 65.
look at this.
Everyone knows the story of Steve Jobs, pancreatic
Mm-hmm.
cancer, 48, dies at 56. These
How
guys have
that
all
how
the
that
money in the
happened?
world. They have
How that
access to
happened?
all the best doctors and technology, and yet they didn't get to enjoy the money that they made. And so you have to prioritize this above everything else, in my mind.
And I think that we're so lucky that we catch it on time, right? The Because you go into that circle. True story. My cousin from just a heart attack, right? And everyone in the family is like kind of shocked. And I'm calling my cousin and say, "Man, what happened? You don't do exercise at work?" He said, "Well, mainly only from the computer." I'm thinking, wow, I thought that for the type of work you do, you do exercise because he and well, we got the surprise, and now he's well healthy. He dropped a lot of weight, and amazing. But he has like a, how you call it, this stem, no, something that you put into the veins, right? Because it got blocked, and then you get the heart attack.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now everyone in the family is calling me and said, "Look, How do you work on your overweight stuff? Because I hope that this is calling from you. I'm like, wow. But it's the truth is that a lot of work needs to come with your unconscious mind, with your discipline, and it's difficult, right? Because sugar, coffee, carbs, they are very highly substances that when it comes to, like I said, consciously, I know that I shouldn't be eating bread, that I shouldn't be eating as much rice as I like because I love it. But at the end of the day, it's your unconscious mind, which is the decision who drive behavior, and it's like this is to break that habit. And so, which advice do you have for that addicted food? That if they don't start to work on this, can have a serious repercussion. And instead, they're dealing with an addiction. You said out there, he's a drug addict, he's a addict to alcohol, and everybody, wow, is so concerned, and wow, you really need to work on this. But you said, somebody's addicted to sugar, addicted to coffee, addicted to carbs, addicted to that. Oh, no, that's okay. Well, it's not okay. It's kill you literally. But apparently, in the public domain, it's not perceived as the same issue. Why do you think is the main problem? Do you think this because there is a supermarket food industry that doesn't want to expose there out there? Too much sugar is not really good for you. I realize now in United Kingdom where I live lately, you go to a supermarket that's new, by the way, and if you're gonna buy a bottle of Diet Coke, you can buy it very cheap. But if you want the normal Coke that has sugar, it costs like 3 times more. Apparently, they put a tax or something in the product in the supermarket over there in United Kingdom that product that has sugar, they are people have to pay more to get them. And guess what? I can kind of work because if you go there and one is 45 cents and the other one is 250, no, it's a diet coke and the normal coke. Well, you get the diet one cheap, and sugar. So, do you think that government? Do you think that this is a collective effort that we can be doing in order to get a healthy society? I think that in U.S. and United Kingdom, we have huge problem with obesity, and the system is kind of collapsing, not collapsing, but is expensive to sustain. Yeah, in UK, over there the seat is free, right? The healthcare, but you have to wait longer to get the things. Not like it doesn't work. How we say in the ideal scenario, right? Here in then in United States, you have a system that kind of could be more sustainable. But at the end of the day, you go to a doctor and the doctor is trying to find you something more so they can build the build more hours. So how can we have a 360 approach and keep the population more healthier? You're doing a big step. You even creating a movement, training more
All right, let me
people.
jump in.
But what else can
All
do?
right, let me jump into your question. That was a long question. Okay, so to to answer your question, first, in general, we need to be thinking of food as fuel. And in general, we are filling our bodies with garbage. We have toxins in our drinking water. We have toxins in our food. We have chemicals. We have herbicides, pesticides, and other chemicals in our food products, unless they're organic. There are chemicals in our personal care products, such as laundry detergent, soap, sunscreen, shampoo, deodorant, soap. Chemicals everywhere, first of all. And so, these are called endocrine disruptors, which are crushing hormones. They're causing inflammation. They make it impossible to have normal blood sugar control, impossible to burn fat and build muscle. They're killing us. So first of all, endocrine disruptors in our food and water and personal care products. Second would be the quality of our food. You're right that most of us are garbage, and it's hard to do the right thing, especially when everywhere you go, there's convenience fast food crap everywhere, right? And so you need to be very intentional about it. You need to plan and prepare, meal planning. You need to, like my son, for example, he goes to school, and if he ate in the school cafeteria, it's garbage. And so we prepare him. In the morning, we actually cook healthy food for him to take with him to school. Everyone needs to be thinking about that at work as well. And how are you setting yourself up for success daily? I love the books Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg and Atomic Habits by James Clear. In Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about how can you be just 1% better today? Just 1% better every day. And what I mean by that, when it comes to food, when it comes to exercise, when it comes to sleep, when it comes to all the lifestyle stuff that you can control, a lot you can't control, a lot you need to do testing, and maybe you need some hormones, you need some additional gut health, whatever, support, whatever you may need. But a lot of the lifestyle stuff you can control when you can start establishing daily consistent habits. And you're not trying to move mountains in one day, you're trying to create consistency. And so, how can you be 1% better each day in what you do? Set an exact time you're going to go to bed every night. That's bedtime. The most important thing your body needs is a consistent sleep schedule. Track your intake. First, just simply track what you're eating. You'll be shocked at how much you're eating, and like you said, how many carbs you're eating. Track your water intake. You'll find you're not drinking nearly enough water. Track your steps. You'll find you're not moving nearly enough. When you start to do this, the numbers don't lie, and that can help you start to recognize areas for improvement. Testing can help you recognize hormone issues, micronutrient deficiencies. Where do I need to focus my energy and attention? And that's where you're going to start to really make progress. But it's progress over perfection. How can I be just a little bit better, 1% better today? And that's where we're going to start to make real change.
Longevity, you're talking about limiting belief, right?
Right?
In the end of the
Exactly.
day, everybody dies. So is this really true? This about that we can even live longer? What can be done?
To live.
Mm-hmm.
Great question. There are a lot of ongoing studies. The ITP is basically a collaboration of studies looking at molecules that can extend lifespan. And there's really nothing out there yet. Rapamycin is the closest we have. Low dose rapamycin is actually a drug used for immunosuppression after a transplant surgery. But there may be some long term longevity benefit of rapamycin. Beyond that, there's not much out there. But what you can do is when you can, again, optimize your hormones for the long term, when you can eliminate chronic inflammation, when you can eliminate system overload and chronic stress, get your gut working, optimize your sleep, optimize your movement. When you start to do all of these things, what happens is now you're extending health span, which is the number of quality years you have, healthy years you have. What that's going to do is over time help extend lifespan. But everyone's looking for that magical, give me the molecule that's going to extend lifespan. And listen, I freaking love peptides. We prescribe a lot of peptides and they're amazing. But there's no peptide that's been shown to single handedly extend lifespan. Not in humans. A lot of animal studies out there, nothing yet in humans.
So then, doctor, if somebody's in love with our conversation and want to find out more about this incredible work that you're doing, how people can find you, how this process works, do they need to come and meet you in person? They need to take a plane? How this
No,
work? How
thank
animals can be
thank you.
more and have a wonderful life?
Yeah, thank you so much. So we work with entrepreneurs around the country. We do telehealth work. And so you do not need to come see us in Florida, in Sarasota, Florida, although we'd love to have you here in paradise here. Although it's super hot right now. So maybe wait a couple months.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but all of our work is virtual. You can check us out at gapininstitute.com. That's GAPIN Institute.com. And if you'll go there /launch, that's LAUNCH. I have a number of gifts for the listeners. I have a high performance health masterclass. I have an ultimate peptide guide. I have all kinds of amazing content for you. A copy of my TED talk I gave a few years ago, copy of my book that I published a few years ago as well. So you can get all that at gapininstitute.com /launch.
And last message. If you are starting a business today, yeah, and you want to go from 0 to 1 million, how much percentage of your attention would be to stay healthy, to become a high performer in terms of being healthy? And how much percentage of your focus can be actually make the business work and make it successful? And how much percentage would you keep to your mental health, right? So we have 100%, we starting a business. I did, I'm gonna give you, when I started my first business, it was 95% to making the money and make the business succeed and to make it profitable. And 2% my mental health and 2% my food. That was the attention that I was making, which is clearly unsustainable, and my body took a hit, right? So,
Yeah,
what was your proportion anyway when you were
I
a
love that.
doctor,
Yep,
and what is knowing what you know now for new people starting a business or
yep.
even starting a practice? How much the proportion should be, in your
Sure.
opinion?
So I would say when I was a surgeon, it was 100% business, 0%
Wow.
health. I had no even concept of being healthy because I was so busy
Who
treating
cares?
my patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, awful. What I would say now, I had to do all over again. And what I would recommend for an entrepreneur who's just starting out is I would say 40% on your health, 40% on your mental health,
Wow.
and you'd be
Really
shocked at
powerful.
how productive you're going to be in that
In that
remaining 20%.
20%. I
Oh my,
agree.
you're going to go out of the
Love it.
park because you're going to be
You will be
optimized. You're going to
flying.
be functioning at a high level. Oh my gosh, yes. So 40, 40, 20 would be my answer.
Well, and I love it. 100% agree with you. Wow, that's fantastic answer. I think all our listeners that today for the treat. Yeah, and I really wish that they seriously is from a doctor for real, right?
That's
A
right.
doctor that is an entrepreneur, right? Who's sharing this piece of information. And like I said, I'm testimonial one on he's sharing, and I think everyone that build a business there over a million at some point. Yeah, I don't believe that at some point when you are in that process the business work, the priorities get lost in translation, and as soon as you can be aware and realize that what is the real proportion, which is this formula that you just shared, I find it I align with it, and I find it amazing because this is actually one of the things that I'm doing now, and you won't believe, doctor, but I'm working very little, but I'm so productive and so effective at the time that I'm working, that is
Yeah,
amazing. And who gonna thought someone that was working with no stopping, that people were clapping in the office, oh, yeah, you didn't sleep, you work like 14 hours in a row, whatever, and you're supposed to be the hero just to have that thing, and now a fun, and that you mob, right? That's fantastic.
exactly.
Okay, so
That's
thank you
right.
so much. And for all of you following the broadcast, you do in our next episode how brave entrepreneurs like Dr. Gapin break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Thanks so much.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.